Hello everyone, what's going on? This is Youngling Jr. So, want to talk about a little bit more about Alex Murdaugh. Those you don't know, just a little recap. So, it's a attorney from South Carolina. He's on trial for a double murder of his wife and his son. Okay, wife Maggie, son Paul Murdaugh, and he actually comes from a legal dynasty. Okay, one of the most powerful attorneys in South Carolina. This is why this is a huge profile case here, and he found that his wife and son was dead by the kennels in his estate, okay, and a 1,700 acre. And his one of his older sons, Buster, they call him Richard, but what they call him Buster, but his name's Richard. But he ended up taking a stand, talking about his father and hobbies and things they done and things of that nature, man. So he was on the stand doing a cross-examination. Then Alex Murdaugh, he decided to use the strategy here to speak up for himself and take the stand. Now, usually the only way for that would happen is that if you actually have a legitimate plan to actually move the jurors, and so he can speak his piece. Now, which was really interesting here is that when Alex Murdaugh was actually on trial, and he spoke up, and he was just saying that, hey, I'm a loving father, husband. Of course, you had one of his defense attorneys was explaining to him that this is he's a 6'4" guy. The way that his wife and son died, it was someone that was maybe 5'4" or 5'2", someone that was a little bit shorter. This is gonna be definitely not be him. I mean, he's just he loves his family. Why would he put himself in that situation? But the thing is too, is that he was caught, like, okay, with the financial crimes, and after that his son and wife was died, he was spending like $50,000, man, a week to a gang member for some opioids each week. That was in financial debt. And the thing is, to his mindset, I believe, is that, hey, let me go ahead and say, okay, my wife's murdered him and things of that nature, and my son, so I can have sympathy for this due to my financial dependency, my financial crimes, so they can just do away with it. And the thing is too, when I was learning more about this, the 911 audio call, he was a little bit more aggressive with that, kind of started with that as well. And then he ended up with his cousin, talked to his cousins like, hey, can you go ahead and just shoot me on around this world, say he want to get shot. And so he can claim, his family can claim that life insurance policy, because he was actually, stealing money from the law firm. He actually admitted that on stand, and he actually moved one of the jurors because the jurors were actually crying. They was like, dang, man, he was open up to his drug addictions. We know this is a huge thing going on in America and all over the world with the opioids crisis. And I'm just saying that, when you get the jurors crying, you actually proving that reasonable doubt. And he knows that he's a good, like I said, orator, man, manipulator as well, because now he can get a hung jury, and that's going to be a delay in the process. And even though he's not, like, right now, that's going to be a separate thing. He's not on trial for the financial crimes, but they have a substantial amount of evidence that. So he was like, hey, if I can just admit that, hey, yeah, I did messed up over the years. I did steal a lot of money from these attorney firms back in 2010, or even further than that, due to my negligence. And then too, he was talking about, like, there's a lot of things going on too with his son, that he was at that boating accident. He was intoxicated. You remember he killed Mallory Beach, and back in 2019, and it was a death lawsuit. But he never admitted that, hey, I went ahead and I was the murderer of my wife and son. So he didn't do that. But he's talking about he came from a whole lineage of lawyers, and so he knows the legal system. And I was thinking, like, man, did he make a mistake in taking up, standing up here on the stand? But maybe, hey, if he had ability to go ahead and move the jurors, because in his mindset, he's been in this game for a long time. Graduated from law school in 1994, I believe. So in the mid-90s and stuff, early 2000s, like, he know how the game works. And it's all about what you can prove in court, and if you can emotionally move the jurors. It's all that 12 men, women, and jury. That's all that matters. And I wonder how this case is going to go. I mean, it's still going on. It's about 21 days, and I'm just listening to this, man. I'm just listening to these testimonies here, and they love hunting. They have all these guns here. I mean, they found residue on the raincoat, on his raincoat, the blood, and it was blood on the steering wheel as well. Now, when he called the police, it's on scene and everything, they warned him not to touch the bodies, okay? When he informed them that, hey, I have my wife and my son here, they was like, hey, do not touch the bodies, because it can potentially jeopardize the evidence. He ended up touching them anyway because he was just in a frantic. And he was like, yeah, I placed that blood there on the steering wheel. But I mean, into I think they got him too with the GPS data and the grid coordinates as well. So you had Creatine Waters, who was the prosecutor. You know, he was just actually, you know, just asking him all these, you know, these questions. Right? Where were you at this time? You said you took a nap. You had no type of, you know, history, or you don't know what happened, who killed your family. Like, you just woke up from a nap and say, oh, here he is. And then he was over, allegedly he was over his mother's house, right? I think he was over his mother's house, and his wife didn't come with him because she don't like going trips with his mom. And I'm like, you know, it's just a lot of the stuff is going on, man. You know, a lot of things went downhill when these financial crimes, I believe after that boating accident, and I believe he just went to the deep end. But they still got to prove, like, say, you know, how it's going to go, because he's facing 30 years to life in prison without parole if convicted. So this is you know, shouts out to Law and Crime Network and Max V World. Actually got me super interested in this high profile case here, because I want to know how all of this is going to unfold here. How is this going to unfold with Alex Murdaugh, okay, and the Murdaugh family? And we don't know, man. So you know, he's talking about his state in Alameda, his grandparents, things of that nature. You know, his family is still there, so they coming in deep and everything. So this is a huge family here that's, you know, really familiar with the legal system. But it's just unfortunate, man, because I was talking to my roommate, like, how can someone just get to, I believe he murdered his family, you know, but he get down so low to the point like, hey, you know, nothing's going right, I'm just gonna go ahead and just murder them, forget about it, I'm just whatever, you know. So I'm looking at this, man, you know, psychopath. I mean, you looking at this like he's calling as a manipulator. He admitted to one of the financial crimes. So hey, he had the ability to move some of the jurors. So if it beats a hung jury, man, this is going to delay the trial here and the sentencing, and we're just going to have to see what's going to go on from there. And I will give him credit if he finds a way to beat this case, and then he probably going to be on trial for the financial crimes and maybe get some house arrest or something like that, or a fee. Hey, I just gotta say, hey, man, he knows how the system works, man. But it's just real interesting how this court works. We want them to get justice. My thing is that, like, were the the family member, not the family members, but were the killers, they were lurking in the woods or something? Like, was they spying on them? And then it's like, okay, he left, and then let me go ahead and murder his family. Like, what? Who did it? At the end of the day, who did it? Like, it got to make some logical sense, you know, because they didn't commit suicide. They didn't, you know. So it's always forensic evidence that this was purposely done by someone. But that's pretty much what I have to say for right now. I think the trial is still going on, but that's just like, I'm wrapping up. I just want to bring my thoughts on this. If you guys are following the case here, or if you guys are interested in like crime cases, because I'm going to cover more of that. But yeah, I've just been doing some little bit more research. You know, sites like BBC News and Law and Crime Network, I just stated. I don't know if Scales of Justice is covering it, but we're gonna have to see, man. But I think this is not a good fit right now. I know for Waters, because I know he don't want to see like the jurors to be moved by this, by the testimony, and feeling some type of sympathy for Alex Murdaugh, because that's what he wants. So if you can get that, then the ball is in his court. But we have to see, man. So that's all I have to say. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I'm gonna upload this on TikTok. I love you guys, man. Enjoy yourselves. I'm out. Deuces.